Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Courtney. I'm a homeschooling mom to two boys. I have a 5-year-old and an almost 3-year-old. And so this video, I'm going to share the curriculum choice I made for my son's science for his kindergarten year. Felt like a mouthful. Okay. So science is actually one of my favorite subjects. I actually have my degree in nutrition and dietetics, so very heavy in that science realm, and I absolutely loved it. And so for me, choosing a science program that would be not only great to teach, but would obviously be wonderful for my children, would create a love of learning for science, because I know a lot of people with science, it's either you like it or you don't. And so the science program that I wanted to choose, I wanted to make sure that it was fun, it was interactive. I wanted to make sure it also pulls God into it, and we can connect the amazing world of science with our amazing God as a Christian. But I also wanted to make sure that we would be learning from not just dry and boring textbooks. And so that is why I've always chosen to go with Sonlight, because it's a literature-based curriculum, and instead of using all these old and exhausting and plain and dry and boring textbooks, because honestly that was the worst part about science, and I was like, no, we can make science so much more fun if we're learning from great books. And so this is why I decided that of course we would go with Sonlight Science K. The other thing though that is really important for me, if you can see with the title, for science, to keep it fun, to keep it interesting, which I find a lot of kids can get really onto like one subject, like outer space or animals or whatever. But I also find that that's not actually as common as I think a lot of curriculums think. I think a lot of kids actually they get on that where it's one subject they're obsessed with, and then they move on. And to do a whole year where you're just focusing on mammals or ocean animals or dinosaurs, not only would that drive me crazy, but I think it would drive my children crazy. And I may be wrong, and if that works for your family, that's totally fine. But I like this. We're gonna focus on ecosystems, meteorology, physics, and engineering design, and there's so many topics within there that we are gonna cover. And I was like, yes, that is what we need, especially at a kindergarten level. And so this is the science instructor's guide. You can see it right there on the edge. And so this is the instructor's guide. Sonlight is known for their instructor guides. They are wonderful. We use Sonlight for my son's pre-kinder year, and they hold your hand. They tell you what to ask. They tell you what to say. It is absolutely wonderful. And especially when you're going into something like a literature-based curriculum, even for science, you definitely can get overwhelmed very easily. And so Sonlight does a great job where they are going to break it down for you and tell you which book they're talking about, what day, and what to do. And then of course their instructor guides have all of their wonderful notes on the back. And they do a phenomenal job. And in this video, I just really wanted to tell you guys what we're doing and what it comes with, but I will do a separate video for a flip through in case you're interested, because I know some people may watch this and be like, I just want to know what you chose, and then some people can choose just off of this video of, no, I'm not going to look into it further, or yes, I'll look into it further. You're either curious or you're not, right? And so if you are curious, and I will also go through the instructor guide a little bit with you and the subsequent books it comes with. That way you can decide if it is for you, okay? So we will go through this in that video. Like I said, it is an instructor guide, and it's printed for you. It's absolutely wonderful. Obviously, they have so much information just for you as a parent to read through. Now, you can see it is 3-hole punch. Now, this comes wrapped. I unwrapped it and I didn't even think, okay? So it does come wrapped, so it's not all loosey-goosey like this, but it is 3-hole punch, and so when you unwrap it, you can then put it in a binder. And you know, Sonlight has these huge binders, and I have one. And then I ordered another one for his kindergarten one, and then they come with the tabs in them for all the different weeks. You'll just take these, split them up, and put them behind. So that is how I will organize my instructor guides in here, just so you know. I won't do it in this video though, because we will do a flip through of that. Okay, so the other thing it comes with that you want to buy is we get to start doing experiments, which is so exciting. So this is the experiment book. I want to see if you can see how thick it is. Okay. And I will just give you a little glimpse on the inside of the table of contents, and then we will do a flip through of this in another video. And you can kind of see what it's going to cover. And actually, I'm a little bit curious. So I was a little bit curious, so I was just gonna look at this real quick. So I turned to week 12 in my instructor guide, and this is called the Kindergarten Science Experiments. And so I am just gonna go down, and it says Discover and Do Science Kindergarten Experiments, and it says on day 59, we are gonna do experiment number 12, which is how is chocolate made? So it doesn't tell me a page number. I mean, obviously by this point you would probably have this bookmarked. You'd be going in order. So page 96 in this book. So page 96, and this is what you would do on day 59, which is technically a Thursday. Now, they don't put days on this. They just do the actual day. So they don't put like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because you can make the choice of what you're going to do. Now, you have the choice with this curriculum, 4-day or a 5-day. I chose the 5-day, and as far as I could tell, if I went and chose the 5-day compared to the 4th day, I got an extra book. So on that 5th day, we will be reading, it looks like 1 page from National Geographic's Little Kids' First Book of Why. Okay, that is what I understood. Okay, so if you choose to do the 4-day, because myself included, we do a 4-day school week, then you just won't have that National Geographic's Little Kids First Big Book of Why. Okay, but anyway, so I digress. So this is what you would do on that Thursday, would be the day you would do your experiment. And so you would at least read through this. It looks like there's an introduction. You have the materials you'll need. There's also ingredient substitutions. So to avoid gluten, to avoid eggs, if you regularly bake with sugar substitutes, use your usual substitute. So I think that's really cool that they offer that. They do, let's see, make a prediction and then investigate, mix the cake, go to the back, talk about it. There's a section, there's draw conclusions, there's a takeaway, and then go further. Okay, so now the other thing I wanted to mention is it has this Discover and Do K videos. So this is the experiment that we just talked about and we looked in the book, and then right here there's the video and it tells you track number 5. So I actually have to go and buy this because it acted like it came with it, but because I did more of like a la carte on Sonlight instead of doing like the full box curriculum, and the reason I did that was because it being a literature-based curriculum, you have a lot of books. Okay, I don't need to buy all the brand new books if I can thrift them. Not only are they cheaper, but I feel better if I'm thrifting books. So people already use these books, they give them to thrift books, and then why don't I get them? Or if you want to do the library. We have a really small library, so it's just really not a choice for me to hold on to a lot of these books that we may be reading for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. So for me, I went and thrifted the majority of the books. I will show you the science books that I did not thrift, that I did order through Sonlight, but that'll be in that video where I do a full flip through. I will show you all the books that we will be covering in Science K. But today I will go ahead and show you the ones that I bought through Sonlight. The rest of them I thrifted, which is really exciting. So, but anyway, so I do need to buy that DVD, and the DVD is going to walk you through doing the experiment. They're actually doing the experiment. So that's a great option, is if you don't have the time to do the experiments, because on top of everything, this can be very time consuming, and I get it. That's why on Thursday only they have you doing this, because it's going to take a lot. Okay, but if you don't want to actually do every single experiment, or you can't physically keep up doing that because you have a baby running around or whatever it is, then you can actually just watch the DVD, and it said track number 12, put that on, and they're going to do the experiment for you. and your child can still do the prediction and all that. You can still read about the information in the beginning. You just don't have to actually do this. And as you saw, this was going to be a very hefty one where they were making like a cake. So just kind of take that into consideration, is that it's a lot. But Sonlight has also given you that option of just watching the experiment. So they're still giving your child that beginning introduction scientific process. And so whether you're doing every single one, or maybe every other week you guys are doing one, and some of them you're just going to watch the DVD. Or if you want, you can do both. You can have your child watch the DVD. I don't know how different the DVD is going to be compared to you doing the experiment, but your kid might enjoy doing both. And you can find out if you want to do the experiment first and then your kids watch the DVD, or they do the DVD and then, oh, now it's our turn, now let's go try and do it. So you could really play around with this and see what works for you and your family. Now, on that note, the experiments. So if we go back to our page, what was it, 96, there is a materials, right? And so this one's not a good one because it's food. If you've done science experiments, sometimes they need some really interesting products, right? And a lot of these you may only be able to get on like Amazon or something like that. And you know, if you order things on Amazon, you tend to get, most of the time, a bulk order. And you're gonna be like, really, I'm gonna pay 13 bucks for this and I only need one? Like, yeah. So what Sonlight has done is they have done that for you, and they have then split up the products in all these different boxes. So instead of buying 13 or 14 or whatever of an item, and you only need one, you can pay for this box, and Sonlight has already put all the materials you'll need. Now again, it's not every single thing. On your guide, they have the supplies you're gonna need for your experiment, and they're gonna put exactly what you need to provide. And then they also do a shopping or planning list for what you're going to need for next week. So you can go ahead and start gathering that or add it to your shopping list, okay? Now, obviously, if you have the supply kit, you can see on week 13, so the following week, there is a section right here where it says you provide, right? But if you have the kindergarten kit, so this box that I bought, I already have those 3 colors of clay. And so instead of having to just gather all this, so when we have done any type of craft or any type of experiment or whatever in the past, that is my biggest pet peeve. It's not actually doing it with my kids and making a mess. It's gathering all of the products and finding them. That's what takes the longest. And so, especially when it comes to school, this is going to be really great. And so I will just open this like that, and you can see it's all in there. And so this is going to be so helpful. So when I do the flip through of the curriculum and the teacher's guide, when I do that flip through, we'll kind of walk through and I'll show you a little bit of what's in there. Okay, so also on that note is I have the kindergarten science experiments, the student pack, and these are going to be what your child is going to need for these. Now, these are actually extra. Okay, the reason I bought extra, and this is what makes Sonlight affordable, is with my second son and then any subsequent children that I have, I don't have to buy this again. I don't even have to buy this ridiculously priced instructor guide again. Like, I already have it. Okay, but the key is these workbook pages. So Sonlight will revamp their stuff. Okay, and they will make changes. And so by me having these pages are going to go with not only the teacher guide, but with the experiment. So, you know, next year they could redo the teacher guide, or they could just redo what they're going to focus on for kindergarten science. And then I'm going to be like, well, goodness, that's unfortunate, because I have all the books that I thrifted, and I have the teacher guide and the experiment book, but they no longer have these because they changed it. And so you can see where that would be very frustrating. And so that is what I'm doing right now, is when I do my big order of Sonlight, I will buy extra consumables. So for my second son, I am paying, you know, 30 bucks out of pocket for his kindergarten science year. Now, of course, I did not buy 2 of these because to me that's just I don't know, that's a little bit too much for me. I don't know, go back and forth. Maybe I should go out and buy it. At least I'll have the DVD. Worst case scenario, the more complicated experiments, I can just have the DVD do it, so that would be an option. Other extra thing I bought was the extra activity sheets. So these are gonna go through what you're learning in science. So I bought the extra experiment paper, the extra paper packet. So these are for outside of your experiment time. This is actually just part of the curriculum for what you're reading and learning about currently. And so I went ahead and bought extra ones of these. The activity sheets are already in your instructor guide. Okay, so I did want to go ahead and just show you the books I did order from Sonlight because I could not thrift them. The other books that are included in this science curriculum, I will show you in the video where we do a thorough flip through. If you are interested, I'll show you a little bit inside each of those books, but I wanted to just go ahead and show you what ones I could not thrift, and that'll also kind of give you a little bit of an idea of the science. So I was able to thrift some of these, but not all of them. And so these are the Usborne beginners. You have bees and wasps, and you can see they're pretty thin. There was ants, and then there was rainforest. And I know I was able to thrift, I think, 2 others. I think one was reptiles, and I was thinking that there was another bug one, but I don't know. And so like I said, in that video, when I do a thorough flip through, I will show you all the books, and then I will even show you a little bit inside of them in case you're interested. Okay, so those I was not able to thrift, so I did buy those through Sonlight. And then the other book was the Usborne Children's Encyclopedia with the QR code. So I did find this on Thrift Books, but it didn't have the QR code. And I was like, I actually really do want the QR code, because my kids, a lot of times when we're talking about science stuff, they're kind of like, oh, the lizard loses its tail, or whatever we're talking about, and they are like, oh, can we see a video of that, Mom, or a picture or whatever. And so I was like, this is going to be great. QR codes. And then it has over 650 internet links. So again, I don't know if it's the edition or whatever, but I was like, I'm just gonna buy it through Sonlight because I didn't want to order one through Thrift Books and then it doesn't have the QR codes and stuff, because like I said, some of them, I'm assuming the earlier versions just didn't have that option. And so this is just absolutely gorgeous, and I'm so excited. And I think this is kind of considered one of your spines. So you can see, instead of having like a boring textbook, you have these just wonderful, beautiful books with just enough information to kind of talk to your kids and expose them to these items. And it's going to cover all sorts of things: the World War, living in the castle, staying healthy, plant world, seashore life, I mean, creepy crawlies, baby mammals, and we're gonna just focus on so many things. And I don't know if Sonlight Science is gonna take us through all of this or not, but either way, lots of topics in there. And as you can see, we are gonna focus, even though they're kind of small, we are gonna focus on a few things and break it down. So that is what I was able to get through actual Sonlight. And stay tuned for that flip through. If it is available, I will go ahead and link it down below, but I will do a thorough flip through of the instructor guide and the books, and you'll see all the books that came through. We'll do a little bit of a look inside of the experiment box. How's it packaged? What's all in it? So anyways, guys, this is the literature-based science program, hands-on, that I chose for my son for his kindergarten year. I am so excited. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Comment down below what you are doing for your child's kindergarten year, or what you plan on doing, or even what you in the past. We would love to know. People are coming to this video to see what they should do for their kindergartner, or what should they choose, or what are options out there. So go ahead and comment down below, and if you have any questions, also comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.